Welcome to the show, John Wilson in the studio, talking all things Jackson, bringing you the news that you need to know. The Heads on Jackson podcast, and we're coming at you live in your city, Jackson. This is your time. Get your news from your neighbor, the people who care, unbiased and uncensored with pride, broadcasting to you live on the air. Trusted source to tell you what's happening from the city to the county line. All the news that matters. Make your own opinion about the news that affect your life. It's Home Jackson Podcast, and we're coming at you live in your city, Jackson. This is your time. Get your news from your neighbor, the people who care, unbiased and uncensored with pride. Coming at you broadcasting live on the
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Sorry we're running a little bit late, but this is the Hits Home Jackson show with John Wilson. I'm here with John and Will. There it is. How you doing, guys? It's been a minute.
Hi, Kevin,
Great to see you today, Kevin.
Yeah, great to see you guys as well.
and welcome to our viewers and our listeners to episode 7 of Hits Home Jackson with John Wilson, where it is always my objective to keep the responsible, law-abiding, hard-working, and retired citizens of all of Jackson County better informed on those decisions that are being made by the Jackson City Council and our Jackson County Commission that pretty much affects our daily lives. Your trusted source from the city to the county line, Hits Home Jackson. Welcome again, and welcome again, Will Hastings.
And thank you for having me, John. We have a lot to talk about. For those of you who have been at the beach, up visiting the top of the mitten, wherever you might be, traveling, wherever your summer might be taking you, there's a lot going on at Jackson City Council, a lot going on at the Jackson County Commission, and not a lot to be very pleased with if you're a conservative or if you're an independent interested in good government. There's a lot of bad government going around the last couple months, and I think that's what we're going to be touching on.
Yes, there's so much to talk about, as always. But since it's been a while since we've all sat here together, we've just got that much more to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we want to start out with? Well, what would you say, the county? Or want to start with the city?
Let's flip to the city, which will
Okay.
build to the county.
Okay.
Well, they're at this point, you'd be led to think that the Democrat dominated City Hall and the Republican, or should I say Republican dominated County Commission, might be at odds, but they seem to be have a very cozy hand in glove relationship. To speak of.
I don't know why. Those ones are down.
Okay. So we just had a vote. We just had a.
Yeah. We're good on volume.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Okay.
I verified that.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so we just had a vote at Jackson City Council meeting all of 3 days ago to award $50,000, not a one-time grant, but a $50,000 per year. He's effectively a city employee to a Keith Gillenwater, who is the head of Accelerate Jackson, formerly known as the Enterprise Group. And a lot of heads are being scratched because Keith Gillenwater has no ties to the city of Jackson. He has no ties to Jackson County. Okay. and he is not even from the state of Michigan. Keith Gillenwater hails from Wabash County, Indiana. Population 30,000. So the county has less than 1/5 the population of Jackson County. But we are told he is going to. He's the music man. He's the rainmaker. He's gonna drum up, bring in business and commerce and all this kind of thing. Though essentially he's an empty suit. An extra large empty suit, but an empty suit.
And we were told the same thing back when City Hall contracted with the Enterprise Group,
Yes.
which is now Accelerate Jackson.
Yeah, which is morphed into Accelerate Jackson.
Yes, they've rebranded themselves. So anyways, back during, I can't give you the specific years, but Larry Schaefer was our city manager and the mayor was Marty Griffin. They fired the Enterprise Group.
Oh, we already fired him once.
They fired them. Yes.
Well, they weren't the Enterprise Group then, right?
No, they were the Enterprise.
Oh, they were the. Oh, they were the. Okay.
Yeah. Now they're the Accelerate Jackson.
Okay.
But back then they were the Enterprise Group. Their contract was discontinued.
10-4.
Now, reason being, we have a city manager, an assistant city manager, a community development director, and if you look at their job description, you will see that economic development is right there, written in their job description.
Oh.
So why is it that we have to contract with an outside entity? Not only an outside entity, this is a 501c3 nonprofit that does not open its meetings nor its financials to the general public. Accelerate Jackson, again, does not open its meetings nor how it spends the public dollars that it receives, and it receives $100,000 from the county, and now they're back receiving $50,000 annually. But there's a question on this too, and I'm going to look it up from the city for economic development. And Accelerate Jackson is an appendage of the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.
Okay.
That is their daddy, the MEDC.
Mm-hmm.
MEDC, publicly funded.
MEDC is in the news an awful lot these days because it's essentially rotten with fraud. A lot of money has gone into people who are politically tied to Governor Whitmer and others. And for those of you who don't know, the state of Michigan is one of, I don't know, it might be the biggest state for corporate welfare and subsidies in the entire country. If not, I'm fairly certain it's in the top 2 or 3. And now that the years have gone on a little bit, a lot of the escapades from the MEDC under Governor Whitmer have started coming to light. And this is why you'll commonly hear Republican office seekers in the state talk as much as they do, or at least some of them do, about ending corporate welfare, because it really is out there in spades. And obviously, where public money is being handed off to friendly private entities, that is a situation that is just ripe for financial abuse on both ends of that transaction.
That it is. Going back to the $50,000 contract with Accelerate Jackson that the city council passed 6-1, 6-0-1, and we'll get to that 6-0-1 in a second.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to read this. This was from an article on MLive, just I believe yesterday, if not maybe early this morning. The annual contract will be payable in equal semi-annual installments from September 1st and March 1st. City Council agreed to the contract at its Tuesday, August 19th meeting. So is this $50,000 payable twice a year?
Unclear, uncertain.
Very uncertain, very unclear. I'm going to email Miss Chloe Miller from the SitPat and ask her to explain.
Yeah.
Are these two installments $25,000 or are they $50,000? which would make it $100,000, which the Enterprise Group, Accelerate Jackson, used to receive from City Hall back before, again, they were fired by our former late mayor, Marty Griffin. Fired for good reason.
Well, and you gave a fiery and a very factual comment at the last city council meeting concerning, let's just say, the backstory of the Enterprise Group, now Accelerate Jackson, and kind of what they were up to back in the 90s that I think should have raised more than a few eyebrows.
Not only those two examples what I gave from the early 2000s and then 2011. Let's go. I'll briefly explain them. First of all, Enterprise Group was formed in 1997. Their headquarters is at 1 Jackson Square. They had the penthouse at 1 Jackson Square. A penthouse is the top floor of a building.
Right.
And they lease the top floor of that building, the penthouse, from whoever owns 1 Jackson Square. I'm not sure who that may be. So anyways, that is where their headquarters is at. And that's a lot of headquarters and very, very nice. They have lots of nice meals up there. I went to a meal one time up there. Very, very nice. So anyways, back in the early 2000s, they approached the Jackson County Commission, Enterprise Group. Its director then, or CEO, I can't think of his name. He's been long gone. They approached the Jackson County Commission, and they requested from the Jackson County Commission that Jackson County purchase land adjacent to Southern Michigan Prison. Vacant land out there adjacent near the Southern Michigan Prison.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did they want Jackson County to purchase this land? For private manufacturers, private sector manufacturers, so they would be able to set up shop there and use prisoner labor.
Oh. So
Thanks-
like a convict run in industrial park.
Yes, yes, for sure, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's all it would be.
Oh, okay.
And at that time, who knows how many we had unemployed of
Right.
responsible, law-abiding citizens that would have loved to have had a job, maybe at one of the area manufacturing plants.
Right. By the way, 1 Jackson Square is owned by AJC Investment Group, which sounds sketchy to me, by the way.
Well,
and Michigan is number 3 in corporate welfare.
number 3, top 3.
Yeah, behind
Go Wolverines.
New York and Washington.
So number 2, so that, and again, the county commission wisely rejected the Enterprise Group's proposal. My brother was on the county commission at that time, and I spoke during public comment in opposition to this ridiculous idea of setting up manufacturing adjacent to the prison so they could utilize prisoner labor. Wrong. So anyways, they went away. Enterprise Group, still called the Enterprise Group, and the city of Jackson and Jackson County, all three partnered to create the Armory Arts Village. The Armory Arts Village, which is now the Armory Arts apartment complex, privately owned. That's been through a few hands. The Armory Arts Village was the vision of the Enterprise Group for this Armory Arts Village. And then again, they went to the city council and county commission, and they all agreed, oh, this would be all wonderful. Would be to have this village where artists from around the world would locate and live and do their artwork. And this would bring in, according to this proposal back then from the Enterprise Group, world-renowned artists to live and work in Jackson to do their craft. And it would also, of course, bring in tourists from around the world.
I remember this vaguely, like this idea at least.
This was during the Granholm years, and they one of the hallmarks of Mrs. Granholm's time as governor was something called the Cool Cities Initiative. And in fact, at one time, Jackson was
we were
adjudicated to be a cool city. We had the signs to prove
we
it.
were
I
awarded
remember that.
those
Yeah, I
blue
do remember
signs
that.
downtown.
Where are they now, I wonder? Well, Melton is scrap, but I don't know. Maybe someone's hung on
I'm
to
sure
one
someone's
as a
got one
souvenir.
somewhere.
So that's a little history of the Enterprise Group. Okay, and again, we're going to call them now the Accelerate Jackson. So that's a little history of there. Now, going back to the vote that the city council took to contract with the Accelerate Jackson. The vote was taken, and I expected it to pass. They rubber stamped it. It's not their money they're spending. You know, it's easy. Vote. Oh, yeah, everything will be wonderful. We were given these promises before by the Enterprise Group that all would be, you know, just give us $100,000 a year, and we're going to make sure you have employment, and the tax base will grow, which will have wonderful streets and everything else that goes with it. Well, that didn't quite pan out, just like their Armory Arts Village didn't pan out. So anyways, the vote the city council took to contract with Accelerate Jackson for, we don't know if it's $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year. It's 2 installments again. Was 6-0 to 1.
One abstention.
The one was an abstention
Yes.
by Councilwoman Christy Davis, who gave a pretty lame excuse as why she, well, no. Her lame excuse was on the pay raise. Her excuse for abstaining from this vote, excuse me, Councilwoman
It's
Davis.
actually a rare moment of candor
Yes.
from city council.
Yes. And the reason she abstained from the vote was she said, Mr. Mayor, I abstained from the vote. And Mayor Mahoney wondered why she abstained. And she said, I received a campaign contribution from the Enterprise Group.
Wow, that doesn't sound very ethical to me. People wanting to do with business at City Hall and giving financial donations to sitting members of council.
You know, Will, she admitted to receiving this campaign contribution and therefore thought she should abstain from the vote. And like you said, a moment of candor there.
Rare moment.
A rare moment. Mayor Mahoney said, nah, you didn't have to abstain. How many other of the council members received just prior to this vote from Accelerate Jackson or its CEO, Keith Gillenwater, a campaign contribution prior to this vote?
That's a very good question. And what was the size of the donation for that matter?
Right. Well, we'll be able to find out eventually on campaign finance forms.
And we'll probably find out really not, maybe not until even the election's up.
Oh, right.
You know, maybe in December, something of that nature.
Sure.
It'll come out in due course. Yes.
But by then, it's water under the bridge.
Well, what did you say, Kevin? The parent company, AJC Holdings Financial.
Yeah, AJC Investments.
So keep your eyes out for that when you're looking at these. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some more information on
the
them right
campaign
now.
finance.
During my few runs for county commission, I ran on discontinuing funding the Enterprise Group from us, the taxpayers, Jackson County taxpayers. Always been opposed to public funding of the Enterprise Group. So they said, Wilson, okay, all right. If the taxpayers aren't going to fund it, how do we survive? You survive by fee for service. So if a prospective business would like to locate in Jackson County or the city of Jackson,
Sure.
then that prospective business contacts City Hall, which they should, or the county tower building, and you speak with city manager, county administrator, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm looking to possibly open up shop in the city of Jackson or Jackson County. Do you have available land? Yes, we do. Do we have available empty buildings that we could possibly locate a business? Yes, we do. What kind of preferential tax treatment is there? Well, there's all sorts of preferential tax treatment that the county gives out and the city gives out. So not so much the county, the city of Jackson. Each local jurisdiction of government has their own preferential tax treatment plans that they give prospective businesses or existing businesses. That doesn't have anything to do with the county. So anyways, yes, they, as far as I'm concerned, if they want to exist, then you exist by charging for your services. Don't go to the taxpayers. They have Summit Township, Blackman Township that are funders to the Accelerate Jackson, County of Jackson, and now the City of Jackson.
Okay.
Which makes me think. So Leone Township, I'm just going to throw out Leone Township, doesn't provide funding to Accelerate Jackson, at least not yet.
Right.
I'm sure they'll probably end up in front of the board with their hands out, begging. So does that mean Leone Township is left out as far as if a prospective business calls and says, hey, do you have anything available anywhere in Jackson County to, a nice 10 acre parcel of land where I could build and open up a small manufacturing plant? Well, could there be any of that in Leone Township? And if so, is the enterprise group going to also steer them towards Leone Township? I guess not, because they don't help fund their existence. It's wrong all the way around, just like the city of Jackson. So, which means if the city council would have rejected this contract with Accelerate Jackson, would that have meant that Accelerate Jackson would not include the city of Jackson steering prospective businesses towards anywhere in the city?
Sounds a little bit like pay to play to me.
It's there you go, pay to play, easy.
See, the problem is, John, you're thinking too much.
Yeah.
Why would Accelerate Jackson have anything to do with Jackson unless Jackson gave them money?
Yes. Yeah.
Why is this? How can you argue? How can this Accelerate Jackson have any reason to exist when we already have an entity, a very long-standing entity called the Jackson Chamber of Commerce?
There's another entity, nonprofit entity that a prospective business could pick up the phone and call.
That's what the Chamber of Commerce is traditionally for, and I don't know, every city.
and all those people are on speed dial with Michael Overton, with Jonathan Green, with the assistant city managers, and so on. There's no need.
No.
Okay. This is just kind of like rah-rah Chamber of Commerce light boilerplate stuff. Really, in the world of, I try to make this point at the council meeting, in the world of AI, you don't need a Keith Gillenwater. You don't need them. We created our own report for the county commission using AI in about 30 seconds using the parameters they talked about. There's absolutely no need.
None.
You're right. I recently filed for an LLC, and I did all my articles of organization and everything literally with a few keystrokes.
There you go.
I haven't done much anything.
And you live in the city of Jackson.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, now you can call the Accelerate Jackson, say, hey, I'm helping fund your operations.
Right.
Can you help me with this?
Yeah. Right. And the Chamber of Commerce.
No, you shouldn't have to, though. Like you said, you can do it just with the on the keyboard.
Yep.
And that's the problem is, so we really don't know who the parent company is, which is, funding this fairly lavish, relatively lavish operation for the city of Jackson, which in turn is funding all these people at City Hall, which in turn they're supposed to, share notes and help, recruit businesses. So it just kind of, there's just a little too much money passing through too many hands. And
It flies in the face of the free market.
It flies in the face of free market, but also of just basic good government and basic ethics. And that's why we have a problem at the county commission of Steve Shotwell attending and being a member of this Accelerate Jackson, which is as you said, is a 501 501c3 that does not have public meetings, public minutes, public agendas, or public finances.
No.
He needs to resign from that.
Speaking of, okay, so the Accelerate Jackson. Here's the irony with the city of Jackson. Agree with it or not, the city of Jackson has a DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion CEO and an assistant CEO. We call them president, assistant president, whatever you may call it. There's two. It's a two staff within that work out of City Hall out of its diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI, also known as DEI. They have a $635,000 annual budget. And again, there's only two of them that work out of that office.
Two full-time employees.
Two full-time
Two
employees.
employees, period.
And what is DEI all about? Well, diversity, equity, inclusion. The city prides itself on this DEI.
Yes.
And those who contract with the city, do they have a certain, per the city, when they passed, remember they were talking about the policy changes and purchasing and all that and contracting, and it was, for the most part, a violation of state law and the state constitution. So the city attorney had to kind of backtrack on it, and I never did read what the final verbiage was on its website regarding that. But they pride themselves on openness and diversity and affirmative action. Okay.
So how exactly does that connect with funding Accelerate/Enterprise Group, which sought to use prison, I'm assuming predominantly Black or disproportionately Black sweatshop labor in Jackson County?
Yeah.
Tell me how your vision for DI fits into that, Mr. John Willis,
and
if you can.
John Willis. Sometimes when they say John Willis on the radio, a lot of people think they're saying John Wilson. John Willis. Yes. Anyways, Accelerate Jackson runs contrary to everything that the city prides itself on as far as its DEI initiatives. Accelerate Jackson, and they can have who they want on their board of directors, just like a private corporation can. Accelerate Jackson's executive committee is made up of not sure how many individuals.
These guys.
There you go. Not one person of color. Not one person of color. That's its executive committee. Now, if you can, pull up its board of directors.
Hold on 1 second.
It gets better.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
I did look at this website also, Kevin, and the board of directors
I just happened to be landing on it right when you.
They have just the names, and I know most of the names. And I even looked up those who I didn't know on the board of directors. There's not one person of color on Accelerate Jackson's board of directors. Yeah. Now look at the staff. Accelerate Jackson's staff. There's not one person of color on Accelerate Jackson's staff. So you have the executive committee. You have the board of directors, which both County Commission Chairman Steve Shotwell and County Administrator Mike Overton sit on.
Oh, yes.
Then you have the executive committee. Now, again, they can pick and choose who they want to serve on their board of directors and their committee, and I guess they can hire who they want. But it runs contrary to the city's hiring practices and contract practices.
Well, I think they have a Dan Phelan there who's the president at Jackson College. I think he might be a really good fit for Accelerate because it's my understanding he doesn't even live in Jackson County.
Oh yeah, well it seems to fit into their business plan. And here are the board of directors. I just got it up. It didn't want to cooperate. There we go. There you go.
Yeah. And there is a beautiful, beautiful residence for the president of Jackson College that was built and operated and funded by the college. Mm-hmm. Not quite good enough for Dan Phelan, though.
Of course, they don't have any pictures.
Who is as woke as the August day is bright.
Now I'm expecting with this contract, now that they contracted with Accelerate Jackson, I wouldn't be surprised if next thing you know, John Willis is on their board of directors.
I would anticipate John Willis Jr. because I think he's being groomed for his fathers. In fact, down to the extent, and I don't know if I don't know if I will get Kevin to go looking for a picture of John Willis Jr. But he's almost a mini me, and he dresses in the same fashion as his father, and has the bald head and the beard and the tight fitting.
I know John
Lexington
Jr.
tees.
I know John Jr. Fine young man, but like you said, they're grooming John Jr.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, how can the city council, and then I asked during public comment, I requested from the city council, when Accelerate Jackson CEO Keith Gillenwater stands in front of you, in which he was there to do, why don't you ask them why they don't have any persons of color on their executive committee, their board of directors, or even their paid staff? Why?
Or even a better question would be, how is that membership determined, and what is your relationship with those people? Yeah. And do you have any financial relationship with those people? And
now, do you think the city council asked them that question?
Certainly not.
Certainly not. In fact, they praised them. They praised everything that Accelerate Jackson does. And according to Will Forgrave, it's a steal. The amount of money that we're paying for the contract, it's a steal.
Well, and that's the other thing, and this is true both of Jackson City Hall and of the Jackson County Commission, is pulling in consultants, paid consultants, expensive paid consultants to do the job that the county commission is paid to do, that Mike Overton is paid to do, that Jonathan Green is paid to do, that the deputy, the assistant city managers and other people are paid to do. It's ludicrous, and it's a slap in the face. And considering that both city council and county commission, they're walking around like the Monopoly man when he's got the pockets turned inside out. We don't have money for roads. We don't have money for policing. We don't have money for basic services. We can't even fix,
our neighborhood
concrete sidewalks, let alone the streets in the neighborhoods. But then you have $50,000 in perpetuity, and this is just from the city. There's money coming from the county side as well. Yes. It's just an abdication of common sense. And as I said, if you are conservative or independent or a fan of good government, there's a whole lot of questions to be asked about City Hall, but I would say even more so that the county commission right now.
Speaking of City Hall, it was mentioned during city council member comments at the end of the meeting, and at this point, I'm just watching it on television or on YouTube. 2 council members announced their intentions to run for mayor in 2026. Those 2 council members are Councilman Freddie Dancy.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And Councilman Connor Woods.
All right.
Where's the awesome?
Oh.
Double awesome.
That's a double
awesome. It's on there somewhere. Just if you tap it, it should be on.
It's not.
We're going to find it.
Of course.
So
okay.
anyways,
I got it.
We have two council members who, for the most part, announced their intentions to run for mayor in 2026. Now, I don't consider that big news because I don't consider either one of them worthy of being our mayor in the city of Jackson. The big news, without even that being said, in regards to this, is if these 2 are running, that tells me that Mayor Mahoney will not be seeking re-election for mayor in 2026.
Oh, shucks. Sorry.
The city of Jackson. City Hall was his containment device, so look out, everyone.
Because these two would not dare to announce their intentions to run for mayor if Mahoney was even considering, hadn't even made up his mind yet.
Oh, no.
Whether to run for re-election. No. he is their boss, and they do as Daniel says. So, anyways, this tells me that Daniel Mahoney will not be filing to run for mayor in 2026 for the city of Jackson.
Yeah.
What his future plans are, I'm not going to speculate or assume anything, but as of this date and as of what these two council members said publicly, I don't see Daniel running for mayor again.
I'll just say in regards to both of them. So Freddie was reelected to that's the 4th ward, right?
No, that's Connor.
No, the second. Wait,
No. Connor Wood is 4th ward. Freddie is Ward 2.
Ward 2. Okay, 2nd ward. So Freddie was reelected to the 2nd ward in 2023. And at the time, he was running in what seemed like a fairly competitive race with Peter Bormuth, who seems to have moved on from the scene lately. I'm not sure if he's still in town. But be that as it may, he was bailed out by a large contribution, Freddie Dancy was, from a PAC that is 100% funded by the Michigan AFL-CIO, who is the chief of staff and the number 2 person in the entire Michigan AFL-CIO. Why, that's Derek Dobies. Who is Derek's deputy chief of staff? Why, that would be Connor Wood. So, heads you win, tails you still win with the AFL-CIO.
Tails
they
we
really
lose.
have. Yeah. Heads we lose, tails we lose worse.
It's a real like Two-Face from Batman scenario here. It's like, well, you're gonna lose either way, so it's rigged.
Yeah.
Rigged. Speaking of which, City Council also decided Tuesday night that they're going to place on a ballot. Of course, it has to go through a resolution, then voted on by the City Council, then placed on a ballot for the voters to decide whether we want the city treasurer position to be an elected position or an appointed position. Currently, it's elected.
Yeah, and this is one of Derek Doby's very first orders of business as a city councilman from the 6th ward was to get the sitting and elected city clerk removed and replaced with Andrea Murray, who is now that became an appointed position, which is to me is very concerning given the role and the importance they have in administering fair elections. And that has been a concern year after year as we watch the returns roll in on election night. In fact, it was an election night in 2023 when Derek Dobies went on social media, I believe Facebook, to publicly congratulate the winners of the 3 council races and of the mayoral race.
He didn't mention my name.
Before, hang on, he congratulated the winners before a single vote had been posted by the city or the county. There were no official results.
Well, it's always a fair election if there is no election.
True.
Well, that's deep.
I know.
That is deep.
It's a lot later than that one. That's an onion. That's an onion for sure.
Yeah. Political philosophy. Did you study political philosophy, Kevin?
I don't.
Or
not on
just-
purpose.
Okay. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, we all got in the last 20 years, we got dragged kicking and screaming into studying political philosophy because
Very self-educated, but
we're like, what is going
Oh,
on?
I took a couple of political philosophy classes at Western Michigan for my undergrad, and even when I started my we'll call it MPA. I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, Master of Public Administration, but I didn't finish it for various reasons, mostly personal, mostly because of my value system. Public administration and I just did not. We had conflict.
gosh darn morals always getting in the way.
So, anyways, speaking of political philosophy, though, I had a professor, and this is when you would go to the classroom, and this was on campus at Western Michigan, and for the most part, the political science department and the degrees in political science were mostly studied by those from abroad, East Europe, Asia, Africa. A lot of probably 3/4 of the students were from not from the United States.
Okay.
I was a minority in most of my classes as an American, and these students were brilliant, brilliant. And so, anyways, we had a professor. I can't think of his name right now. This was years back, and he would walk into the classroom. This political philosophy class only had maybe 10, 12 people in it, and he would walk in probably 15, 20 minutes after the class was supposed to start. And this was night. I took night courses because I worked during the day. And he would sit at his desk, and it would be a 2.5 hour class, and he would not take a break. It was just some older professor, brilliant professor.
Mm-hmm.
And he would not take a break. We sat there for those 2.5 hours, if not 3 hours. And then he would keep us past 9 o'clock.
Because he started late.
Yeah. He started late.
I don't know anyone that does that.
And usually I treated myself with a beverage after my night class somewhere near campus before I made my drive home, one beverage. And but anyways, oh my goodness, this prof would keep us there until 9:30. And you couldn't get up and leave. So anyways, yeah, that's just my story on political philosophy.
Yeah.
So we're going to possibly, the voters are going to, in the near future, not elect any longer our treasurer unless the voters decide, no, we want to keep it in an elected position. They shouldn't even have to be voting on it. It's already an elected position. City council and the powers to be at City Hall want it in an appointed position. And we all know why they want it to be an appointed position.
Because they want to put their friends, they want their team on
just
their
like
team.
the city clerk is currently. The city clerk should also be an elected position. Never should a city clerk, any clerk within government, be appointed.
Well, and how did Marty Griffin, with no background in accounting or public finance or anything of the sort, how is it exactly he came to become the Jackson City treasurer? Well, he was the mayor when Derek Dobies first came on the scene, moved to Jackson, got himself elected to city council, and he was a mentor. And he did more than a share of favors, such that when Jason Smith, sort of outsider candidate, won and defeated Marty Griffin by surprise over there's the sewer water tax. In any case,
Stormwater tax.
The stormwater tax.
Illegal stormwater tax.
Yeah, the stormwater tax that was found illegal. But at the time, as Marty was on his way out the door, Derek made sure that he was was nominated to serve on a host of city committees and commissions. So there's a lot of you scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours.
Sounds like Derek Dobies' origin story for a supervillain, like a comic book supervillain, like literally, like word for word.
No.
But yeah, and I guess but unfortunately, he was not anticipating, but he got himself hung out to dry by the Jackson Public School Board, who weren't having any of his BS.
Well, good.
He was removed from his office. He's barred from holding for any further elective office for the remainder of his term. It's a 6-year term. And on a separate motion, he was censured. So when you go to serve in an unpaid position on a school board, and you're mostly surrounded by people, most of whom are somewhere between center left and then some woke people too, and you piss these people off so royally that they censure you, that really says something
Your own kind.
about your character or serious lack thereof.
Right. All right. So we've talked about the city. Anything on the county? Did you attend the county commission meeting just this last Tuesday night, Will?
I guess in a manner of speaking, I attended it, but it never gavelled open because we have remember they had that John Grisham, there's the movie The Runaway Jury, right? We have the runaway county commissioners who violated their oaths and failed to show up. Now there are a number of commissioners who had what I'd call excused absences, vacations, family matters.
There were
medical
3 who
matters,
had excused absences prior to the
well
the
in
meeting.
advance, and then one of whom who decided an hour before the meeting.
Well, let's do the math here. We have 9 county commissioners.
Okay. Nice.
9 county commissioners. County Commission Chairman Steve Shotwell had a scheduled vacation. So, yeah, absolutely. Take that vacation. He's fishing in Canada. Well deserved, I'm sure. So that's 1.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're down to 8.
Yep.
County Commissioner Phil Duckham has a personal family issue that he's attending to.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good reason to not to be at Tuesday night's meeting.
Yes.
Personal reason. Same with Margie Waltz, Commissioner Margie Waltz, who represents the Grass Lake area.
Okay, so we're up to 6 people who either attended or had a legitimate reason, informed the commission in advance, and gave proper notice that they were not going to be there.
Yes, the 3. So now we're down to 6. Now with Chairman Shotwell not being in attendance, we have Vice Chairman Corey Kennedy, who will be chairing the meeting. That's his duty. When the chairman isn't there, the vice chair chairs. Just like if the mayor is not at a city council meeting, then the vice mayor chairs the meeting.
Yes.
So anyways, we're down to 6 commissioners.
Right.
Now, the rest of the names I'm just going to leave unnamed.
Mm.
Well, first there was a roll call. There was a roll call. There was a roll call. Did I hear a voice?
Yeah, I accidentally hit the awesome button, but it worked.
Okay. And then the awesome button is working.
This is
Yeah,
for
it
our
should be working
3,
on your end too.
this is for our 3 awesome runaway commissioners. So
Awesome.
that's for you, Earl.
Awesome.
That's for you, John Willis.
awesome.
And this is for your opponent in last year's commission race, Darius.
Darius.
John Wilson won't mention name, but will.
Why
Okay,
not?
there we go. They're out there. Okay, so we're down to 6 commissioners. Enough for a meeting. That's a quorum. So you get there, and there's only 3 commissioners up there.
Mr. Baer, Mr. Kennedy, and Mr. Snell. No one else to be seen.
3 commissioners.
Well, I shouldn't quite say there's no one else to be seen because I came right from the city council meeting, which started at 6:30, and Mr. Willis was in attendance as usual.
At
He has
this-
his earbuds on,
at the
has
city
his Mac
council
Air
meeting.
open, kind of there, usually tuned out, sometimes not, but
At the city council. We're going to make that clear.
at the city council meeting, which is a 3-minute walk from the county building.
Yes. So we have the six commissioners still that are supposed to be at this meeting. And like you said, there's only 3 commissioners there. Commissioner Baer, Commissioner Baer, Kennedy, and Snell. So that leaves 3 commissioners yet. Where are they? They didn't come through the door.
One of them was right down the street.
Yes.
Not sure about the other 2.
One informed the vice chairman, Kennedy, an hour before the meeting that he would not be making it. Commissioner Earl the Pearl Pileski telephoned Vice Chairman Kennedy an hour before the meeting, telling Vice Chairman Kennedy he's not going to be able to make the meeting.
If I did that at my job, I'd be fired.
Well, he did call. That's like calling
Yeah, but
in.
an hour before.
Right. Okay. So now we're down to 5
Yes.
commissioners who would make a quorum still because that's a majority. So, like you said, there's 3 commissioners up there. We're still down to 2 commissioners that are missing in action.
Mm-hmm.
One again being
Mr.
John-
Willis.
Commissioner John Willis, who represents the south side of the city of Jackson, southeast side, city of Jackson, and Commissioner Darius Williams, who represents the District 8, which covers the northwest part of the city.
Yeah.
Mm.
2 commissioners who did not make a phone call, did not text, made no attempt to contact anybody, not even the county administrator, that they would not be attending the meeting.
Mm.
So now we're down to 3 of 9, which does not make a quorum, which makes a non-meeting.
Which means the gavel comes down and we all went home.
Yes, that fast. And no excuse for the two who just at least didn't call. Maybe Earl had a flat tire on the way in, or ran out of gas. I doubt if he ran out of gas, because Earl gets, they get gas mileage to attend their meetings.
Really?
Yeah, county commissioners get gas mileage. They get mileage to attend their meetings.
You do the job.
Do you get gas mileage?
No,
too?
God, no.
No. Do you get gas mileage?
No, sir.
Yeah,
No, I don't either.
my boss would laugh at me.
You can always ask.
So the question is why they chose to be in dereliction of their official duties, and why they chose to sabotage this meeting. So I think probably the best way is to ask them directly. Though I think there is maybe some speculation that this was done intentionally to sabotage Corey Kennedy so he could not preside as acting chair. That seems to be the prevailing opinion. But as I say, I encourage one and all to ask these people directly why you failed to attend and why you are not honoring your official duties.
I've been in management most of my life, and one of the most disrespectful things an employee can do, in my book, is a no-call, no-show.
Yes.
It takes 10 seconds.
And our elected officials are our employees.
Yeah.
We pay them to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
And again, yeah, there's going to be some times where you can't make a meeting,
Right.
but
Make a phone call.
why
We
we
all
have
have
this.
phones.
yes, I even have a landline. I not only this, but I even have a landline.
I have 2 Google Voice numbers and a cell phone.
Sure.
It's not that
So
hard.
there's no excuse.
No.
And again, maybe Commissioner Pileski had something come up within the hour of the meeting where he could not attend. I don't know. But you know what? I kind of have to believe what, we're speculating here.
I think they stomped their feet like little kids and no, I don't want, I don't want to.
Maybe-
So we're going to do it this way.
Maybe Commissioner Pileski just could not stomach Vice Chairman Kennedy running a meeting.
But the thing is it sounds like the chair had a planned absence
The chair did have a planned absence.
well in advance. So
Yes.
why an hour before?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. That's a slap in the face of the citizens, if you ask me.
It is, especially
The-
for those who attend the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and there are three planned excused absences that came well in advance
Right.
that all the members of the commission were aware of, which would have left them with 6 county commissioners,
Mhm.
and they all know the name of the game, which is you must have a quorum, which in this case is 5 commissioners to opt to run the meeting.
And
So
it-
they knew this. If there's ever a night in which your attendance is especially important, it's going to be this one.
Mhm.
And if you didn't want to act on an agenda item, well, they could just vote it to not act on an agenda item and wait for the full board to maybe be there at the next meeting.
Yeah, but then you got to put pants on.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. And this goes to my argument. And this is another one of my platforms I used when I ran for county commission, but it doesn't go anywhere. I don't get elected. But one of my runs was to eliminate some of these committees, county commission committees.
Yeah.
We have, I don't have them in front of me, but I'm just going to try it off the top of my head. Our county commission has subcommittees. Okay. They have the Jackson County Parks Committee. They have the Fair Committee. They have Transportation Committee. They have law enforcement. What's it called? The
Public safety.
Public Safety. Thank you. Public Safety Committee. And then they have the General Government Committee. And then they have a study session. My solution, my idea was to eliminate the 6 committees and just have a study session. That's all you need.
Yeah.
A study session.
It's the real life definition of bureaucratic red tape.
Right. Now, these committee meetings are all held in the morning.
Yeah.
During the week
Mm-hmm.
when most are working.
Yeah.
They're not able to attend.
Nor is the public.
The study session is always held in the morning also. So you get rid of these committee meetings. And again, I'm going to go back. These commissioners are paid a stipend for
Mhm.
each committee that they sit on,
Oh.
for each committee meeting that they attend.
Mhm.
And not only do they receive that stipend, they receive, again, that gas mileage stipend. I guess if one of our commissioners who may live out in Henrietta Township, has to drive in 12 miles to the county tower building for a meeting, I guess they believe they must need gas mileage to do so. So they not only receive their salary, their annual salary, they receive a stipend for the committee meetings that they're on, and then they receive also, again,
Mhm.
their gas mileage. Get
Yeah.
rid of those committees, have one study session a week prior to their full county board of commission meeting.
Yeah.
That's all that is needed. That's all that is needed. You don't need all these committees. And then there's even subcommittees after that. There's so many different committees. And now I'm not going to say any of our commissioners here in Jackson County take advantage of getting on as many committees as they can to make that little bit of
Sweeten the
extra
pie.
money, sweeten the pie. But over in Branch County, and I'll leave this commissioner unnamed, this guy was retired. This county commissioner was retired, and he loaded up on every committee possible because he had nothing else to do. I was told that he just hung out all day long at the county building.
There it goes.
And so he places himself. He gets voted on to serve on all these committees, and who knows what his final paycheck was.
Yeah, and it's not unusual to go to public meetings anyway and seeing these elected officials playing on their phones, things of that nature.
Right.
From the chat, I just pulled it up. It wasn't coming. John Willis apparently also gets an automotive stipend from the city.
A what?
Automotive stipend from the city.
Yes, that is true. Both, I think both the employees of the diversity equity DEI office.
We're talking city officials. Oh yes. Our city manager, he doesn't have a city vehicle, but he receives instead a stipend each month for his vehicle allowance.
Yeah,
they have vehicle allowance. Oh, this really got my goat a few years back when city council voted for the part of the contract with the city attorney and city manager to pay them $10,000 per year. Now I'm not sure for however long it goes per year, so they can apply it towards their college debt.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up they're having their college loans paid by the city, and that's really, I mean, the gas allowance is just very, very small potatoes and minuscule compared to having an entity like the city that's already paying you, you have a six-figure salary and probably quite desirable benefits for those of us kind of living in this place called the real world. That they are going to pay off your college debt loans as well.
Can they pay off some of my loans?
And we spoke about it before, but you think about it, the city attorney and the city manager both receive vehicle allowance each month, and neither one of them, well, city manager Green doesn't live in the city. He lives outside the city. Not sure exactly
Parts
where.
unknown.
Parts unknown. But he does live within the county. Our city attorney, though, does not even live in the county.
Oh.
Yeah, so
He's
I guess he needs
Brighton.
that vehicle allowance. Yeah. That's
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
nothing to show your commitment to the city of Jackson County, like driving all the way down from Brighton every day to do your job. God bless you, Matt Haggerty.
Yes, yeah. Oh, and part of the, I guess, the job description, within the job description of the city treasurer is that the city treasurer will be a city elector, meaning they vote in the city.
Yes.
Well, guess who doesn't vote in the city? Our city manager, nor our current city manager, or our personnel director for the city.
Yeah, and if it does, if the treasurer does end up becoming an appointed instead of elected position, I can assure you it will be extended to people who live outside the city limits, which is this kind of ongoing trend we've seen of outsourcing city jobs to people who live elsewhere. The previous city manager, Patrick Birch, didn't even live in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
He drove up from Maumee, Ohio, which is right on the border.
Yeah, Toledo area, 2 hours.
And the funny thing is, he's returned to Maumee now and is in sort of I don't know if he's a city manager. He's the city manager there as well. And you can look up the citizen groups, you can look up the web pages. There's a small army of citizens with their torches and pitchforks who are out for the sky.
Well, they have forced him. He has announced his retirement.
Yeah. They ran him out of office. That's how wildly disliked
I
he
remember
was.
an article about that not long ago.
He was
Yeah.
for the most part run out of the city of Jackson also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he of course, and back in the day, he and the mayor were very close friends and inseparable.
Mhm.
Joined at the hip.
That was former Mayor Derek Dobies.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
City attorney makes $135,000 a year in 2019. His first year.
He's had a raise since then.
Oh, I'm sure. I was I was just scrolling through. Oh, look at this. City of Jackson salaries, all 237 employees. Let's look at that. Anyways.
The interesting thing is actually there would be a huge bump on that if you include the benefits package.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
The-
that would
the,
be-
in fact, that's kind of how they
$10,000 per year to help pay off his college debt, his
Yeah.
law school,
bumps them up to 150,
vehicle allowance,
401k, vehicle allowance, medical.
401k, medical, fine, but vehicle allowance.
Medical insurance for his family. That's probably clocks in about 30,000.
Oh yeah, it's the benefits that
Yeah.
really adds up. All right, Will, what do you think, brother? Anything else you'd like to touch on?
Well, let's see. Well, I would just like to just some things I've observed very quickly. So obviously, we've had a very hot summer. A lot of crime, a lot of shootings, gun crime in the city of Jackson, and I think what's been somewhat overshadowing. I think the obviously it's been a major local news story that the niece of Mayor Mahoney was tragically murdered outside of her church.
Gun down.
Was shot during broad daylight. But I think that's been also overshadowing it. The previous day, they had at one of the Southside Jackson festivals, also during broad daylight, and there's a gun battle going on there, and who had a
drive-by gun battles,
and who had a table pitched to push her wares and her philosophy, other than the director of the GVI, the Group Violence Initiative, than social worker Cheryl Garland. And I think that when you're
Cheryl Ragland. Yes.
Cheryl Ragland, excuse me, that when you have bullets effectively whistling over the head of your director of your GVI at a daylight event at 1 PM, a community event in South Jackson, I think it's time for her to go.
Yeah, something's got to be done, or you got to go. By the way, Matt Haggerty 2024 made $203,000, which is, what did I just see? 181% higher than the city of Jackson average salary.
Oh, he had a big jump in pay since 2019.
Yeah, 100,000.
Oh.
Well, and the city manager just got a very, very big bump just in the last 12 months. I don't recall the exact amount. So just a few things I'd just like to throw out about crime in the city. I was very surprised to learn this morning. I was going through the City of Jackson page, and they have a specific web page, and you can Google for yourself, devoted to unsolved murders in Jackson, Michigan, in the city of Jackson. And there's exactly 3 victims on the page. The last of whom, the most recent of whom, was a man who was murdered in 2005, and then there's someone from maybe 2000, someone from the late 90s, and that's it.
Yeah.
There are scores, there are dozens of unsolved murders in Jackson.
Since then, especially Will, but come on, we got to give him a little break. We no longer have a public information officer that updated all these sites and the web pages and so forth. So maybe that's why they're behind. How many years with this?
Right.
With 3. So
Yeah. 20.
I do all of my own website management.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to update a website,
no.
especially with seeing these salaries.
So you're saying, Will, that we have 3 unsolved murders according to the city of Jackson?
According to their official page, and they have an official page on the city website and entitled Unsolved Murders. That's the horse's
there's-
mouth, or maybe the horse is something else.
And there's just three individuals.
According to the city of Jackson, and you wonder why they don't have credibility with the public when they make these wild claims
Maybe I've
about
just,
gun
yeah.
violence being down in the city due to the GVI, and they are very dubious claims. They have never published actual crime data to support that. They do have crime data on their website, which actually is somewhat useful to look at, but essentially the crime rate and major crimes really have not changed for the last 5 years.
Well, just in the state of
low,
Michigan
down,
now,
low.
we are told that violent crime rates in the city of Detroit, the city of Flint, the city of Saginaw, Grand Rapids, Jackson, Benton Harbor, Lansing, they're all down, according to their statistics.
This sounds like
All these violent crimes in these major cities here in the state of Michigan are down.
sounds like the same exact situation that's going on in Washington D.C. right now, where they're like, "Oh no, the crime's down." They're like, "Compared to what?"
Compared to what exactly? Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, and there's a lot of way to affect your crime rate and by how the police
Well,
report.
Here's that website
report crimes.
or that
There we
page.
go.
You-
There's
this
the
is
three.
from the City of Jackson official website. And there's James Honeycutt, William
2005.
Gino Purdue, and Connie Chandler.
Just three.
83, 2000, and 2005. We're doing great, guys. Jackson's doing great.
They really need to make
20 years, no unsolved murders. Except for the two that I personally know of.
Right. Yeah.
And I would just add this. I was just glancing at the budget. So using the 2023 financial year as a baseline, up to the proposed budget we're about to enter into for the 25-26 year, spending for the Jackson Police Department has increased, or will increase by 21% over that 3-year period. During the same period in question, spending on DEI will have increased by 59%. So our DEI spending has bloated out from $293,000 in 22-23 to their budget for $461,000 or $467,000 next year, and they went above $600,000 last year. That John alluded to. That is an accurate figure because they spent there's budgeted in approximately $150,000 for something called a DEI equity audit.
Every time I hear DEI, I have a visceral reaction because it's not anything that makes any sense to me. Like the words make sense, but then the action of the words in the DEI organizations don't make sense.
Practicality, the
Yeah.
practice of it, just like I'd mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
If they were practicing what they preach at City Hall, then they would have questioned CEO Keith Gillenwater from Accelerate Jackson as to, again, why he has no persons of color on his staff, nor its board of directors, nor its executive committee. That's just only one example. And,
Hypocrisy.
that's straight up hypocrisy.
Do you still support prison exploitative prison labor, Mr. Gillenwater? That
Sure.
would have been a good question to ask.
Mhm.
Not
Yep.
while our unemployment rate is so high.
And you have to wonder also, Will, that you'd mentioned the budgets here for the police department, DEI. How long before that $1.5 million that was allocated to group violence intervention program, when are they going to be up for another allocation of funding? Unless it's somehow been, somehow put through the budgetary process in a, not so, let's just say, transparent way.
Oh, why would they do that? They never do that, John.
No, I'm just
They're extremely transparent.
Yeah.
I know from
I'm just trying to get some money from them.
from a firsthand discussion I had with Jonathan Green last year about, I think this may have been during the course of a city budget meeting where you get to do a little Q&A, that he is firmly committed to funding GVI through the Jackson Police Department
Okay, so that's
into
where
the immediate future.
Yeah.
So the ARPA money, the ARPA dollars are gone.
they're gone. So we are funding them right now through the police department's budget. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Not surprising.
And even you look at a 21% increase in the JPD budget over 3 years. When you look at the fact that number one, that includes the GVI, but not just that the cost of, you have a whole lot of employees there due to the patrol officers, and the costs. A lot of those increases were not increasing policing. That just reflects the costs of the galloping costs of health insurance,
Right.
which blew a $4 million hole in the Jackson Public School budget at the beginning of this year that they didn't see coming. And they have some pretty good, fairly financially sharp and prudent
Yes.
at JPS. They run a tight ship there, but they just got blown. Blown their socks off the amount of money going for increases for health insurance.
Regarding the JPD, Jackson Police Department, we don't have as many patrol officers today as we did 10 years ago, as we did 15 years ago. And a lot of the money now is being spent on not so much boots on the ground, but we have hired a social worker, and per City Police Chief Simpson, he was on the Bar Hawley show a few months back with our first social worker who rides along with patrol officers or is on call to respond to certain situations. That was number one. She was the number one hire, this certain social worker. I can't think of her name right now. But Bart, of course, thought how awesome this was to have this, as part of our JPD now. And
Awesome.
Chief Simpson responded by telling Bart he wished he could have 10 of these social workers employed by JPD.
We need patrol officers, and another place where we've really taken a hit is in detectives.
Right.
There's not that many detectives. We have a low clearance rate. There are many, many unsolved murders, and that's where you need you need to do. There's plenty of work to go around.
According to this budget, though, this large budget increase, that the police department has, it's we're certainly not defunding the Jackson Police Department. Instead, that's morphed into repurposing law enforcement, repurposing law enforcement is these social workers now that are riding along with our patrol officers and responding to certain situations.
Let's fight gun crime with words.
Yes.
Well, not just that, and we're fighting it with freezer trucks filled with Easter hams and Thanksgiving and Christmas turkeys.
I do like ham and turkey,
and handing us out, and that goes to when you look at the JPD budget.
Get there early though if you want one because they run out.
Yeah.
Oh no, I work and then pay for mine.
Right. I myself also.
Yeah, right.
And I bet Will does too. Yeah. Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
Will, Kevin, good show.
Great show.
Good discussion.
Yeah, good to see you guys. It's been a minute.
Yep. And yes, until next time. And I'm Will, you're always welcome. My goodness. I would be.
It's always a pleasure to have you, Will.
Well, it's a good show today. I'm very glad to see both of you. And for those of you watching at home, there's a lot going on at City Hall, at the County Commission right now. If you do not feel inclined to attend in person, let alone speak, these meetings are aired live on YouTube. They're easy to find, and you know what? Get in touch with your commissioner or your city councilman.
Sure,
absolutely. That's what they're there for. And we spoke about that on the Stick to the Plan podcast. They're always willing to accept your call. Like a lot of times we've had guests that say, yeah, no one's ever called me from my area, before a giant controversial vote or something. Right. And that's what they're there for.
It sure is.
Yeah, definitely is.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Until next time. And thank you, viewers, listeners, for joining in. Hope you are better informed as a result.
Absolutely. Everybody have a great one. Anything else from you guys?
I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, we're out of here, guys. Thanks again. Make sure you follow the channel and like the stream. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
You've been listening to Grandma's Boy Media Production.
Talking all things Jackson, bringing you the news that you need to know. The Heads on Jackson podcast, and we're coming at you live in your city. Jackson, this is your time. Get your news from your neighbor, the people who care. Unbiased and uncensored with pride. Broadcasting to you live on the air. Trusted source to tell you what's happening from the city to the county line. All the news that matters. Make your own opinion about the news that affects